I wanted to say that I think it is also very, very essential for people to get some training, no matter how small.
Yeah.
You see, know the area that you want to delve into. You know, if you're going to be doing post-production, I have a lot of people that have trained in script writing. I know one particular girl, she's in school now. She fends for herself with writing scripts. Now, people, if I tell you that this girl can write script for you, you will not give her money. But if you want to write a script, and I tell you that, bring the money now, you give me the money, right? I pay her some money and she writes it for me, and I'm not even moving my pen. And she will do she even has some kind of grammar. She's up to date. She's even very current. She knows the kind of languages to
because
put.
it's actually skill, not necessarily the number of the years you have used in the industry.
Yes.
If you are skillful about it, you'll be able to get it.
Exactly.
I want to get to you on that. What can I do to distinguish myself in the industry? Whether I'm a producer, or I'm director, or I'm an actor.
Okay,
you guys are no longer actress. They say there's no actress, it's actor.
Actor, yeah, both male and female. Yeah, one of the major things that you need to do to distinguish yourself is know where your strong point is. What is your strong point? Like we just said it's good for people to, the first thing, like I said.
Can I ask you a question? What's your own strong point?
My own strong point is production.
Wow. With all the things we have seen you do in acting.
Production.
I can attest to that. Our 5th anniversary documentary, she did it. Our 10th anniversary documentary, she did it. Can you put your hands together for her? So when she said her strength is in production, I can attest to that. Please continue.
So my strength is production, and that is two-faced. In front of the camera as an actor, and behind the camera as the driver. So the part that you have talked about is me being a driver, like a producer. So, and then the other part is me being, in front of the camera as an actor.
Somebody sitting down here, he doesn't want to even do anything acting or being behind the camera, but he's interested in doing a movie. Can they approach any one of you and say, I have this story, let's get the movie out?
Yes, that of course is.
They have money.
Yes, that of course is possible. You see, there are different angles. There are some people, they are interested, but they just want to be a financier. So they have the funds, they bring the funds, they invest in the business, and they sit back as a sleeping partner or a silent partner, and they allow their money to go work for them.
Executive producers.
Yes, they can become executive producers. Yeah. But they need to, such people really need to understand the nitty-gritty of, and all the things that go in, because you can't just bring in your money and put money into it and you sit back and you expect that, okay, fine, this because...
So you are trying to open a wound that I'm trying to mend. Because as at the time I got into the movie industry, I didn't know some things.
Yes, it's not too good to be a
money, millions. And the result did not come out very well.
I have a slightly different opinion to that. Okay, so in my own opinion, you can actually invest in it and sleep. That's how.
If you're investing with
but there is a but.
I invested with somebody and I've not been sleeping since then.
Okay, no. What I'm saying.
I tried to sleep. By the time I woke up, I didn't see the movie.
When I say that, what I mean is, you can actually be involved and not be too involved. Like sometimes somebody is funding a job and is already saying, man, I like Ramsey Noah. He's my best. He's the one that you must use for this, my movie that I'm funding. He's telling you that I'm funding it, but it's my movie. It's my story that you will shoot. First of all, the story may not be good enough, but it's the story of his life. How his mother did something.
The market might not even, receive.
But because he's funding it, he's telling you who to use in the movie. And the person that he wants to use, I want Shola Sobowale by every means. I want so person. They've dictated to you the kind of actors they want. And then they've dictated the kind of story that you should work on. You're already
tied.
You've tied me already. Why don't you?
So if by the time the movie comes back, if it doesn't do well, they will blame it on you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's why you.
But whether or not we control you, if the movie does not do well, we still blame it on you.
That's why it's important that people's participation is well defined.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. If you're coming in as an investor, what kind of investor? You know, we have some investors who are also actively involved in the production. We have an investor who, like I said, is a silent partner. You just put your money there and you are told on paper that certain amount of money will accrue to you after a certain period of time. And that's just yours. Okay. So where you have a partner or an investor who is also going to be dictating terms, then you really need to make that partner know that this is not the kind of business that you dictate terms. Because when you're trying to dictate terms... I
think for those of us who want to invest, you are the one that will make us know.
Yes. Yeah. So you really need to make them know. So it's not just enough...
And for the people who want to now get the partners to invest, what is to put a system together to tell you that you can be in production, you can be in acting, and you can be an investor. You can even... The last question I want to ask right now is, what kind of technology do you guys want us to discuss about? Because we're also going to be discussing tech. Everything is being driven by tech. I think Netflix came in and shook a little bit. Now Prime is here now, shaking everything and all of that. And many of the Nigerian, that's the indigenous platform that we know, are now struggling. So as a tech person, one of those things that we're going to also discuss, you know, when the tech people come, we'll discuss about we can use tech to enhance what we are talking about. Is there anything in the area of tech you want us to be able to discuss, you know, so that we can have some practical dimension to it? I'm throwing the question to you.
Well, I think the digital world now has actually opened up a lot of avenues for...
Is it opened up or is that taking over?
I'd like to use the word opened up.
Okay.
Because it's brought about expansion. Not a total takeover, because we still have the traditional means, whether you like it or not. We still have the traditional means, and there are still people, you know, there are still areas, you know, where the digital world is not thriving yet when it comes to, you know, so you still have the rural areas, and they still have one way or the other of still relating.
Do you people still do video CD?
They do it, they still do it. They are watching it in the
They are still there. So that
how many of you have watched video CD in the last 1 year?
We're in Lagos.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Over the weekend.
I didn't know.
No, last weekend I was in Ibadan last weekend for an event, and somebody still gave me a CD.
Somebody went for an event recently.
Yes.
And
so
the
she
person
gave
was
CDs
launching
out.
a CD. I said, just put it on Apple Music, put it on Spotify.
So it was a musical.
Yesterday, I was in an interview at one TV station. I didn't want to mention it. I saw that they have new tech kind of things. They have all the equipment there, but they still had those ones as backup. The TV they were using.
So it means that there's a lot of opportunity in the area of tech. I like what she said, that it just opened up. So don't think that Netflix has taken it all. Because if Netflix took it all, what is Prime doing?
Yeah. So
if Prime has taken it all, what is Showmax doing? So all you need to do is to find a niche in that industry, create a tech platform that can actually bridge that gap, and you will just be smiling to the bank. And lastly, Ma, can people work with you?
Of course, yes.
Very open.
Of course, yes.
In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every law be established. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys for this. Can you put your hands together for them? Celebrate them. Thank you. It was a wonderful platform. So they are going to still be available till the end of the, hopefully, till the end of the program. So you get to take pictures, get their contact, and see how you can work together with them in the things that we're doing. And we have Red Eye Studios as one of the people who are sponsoring this event. And Red Eye Studios, they are going to give scholarship to 10 people who want to go into the entertainment industry, which is the movie-making industry. And we are going to be working with them to be able to do that. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Over to you, Fosa.
One more time. Let's put our hands together for our panelists. Thank you so much. Were you able to get pictures of the panelists? You got the pictures. Beautiful. All right. It's been quite the event, right? It's been quite the event. Is that correct? How many of us were impacted by that session? You know that you learned quite a lot, especially the creatives in the house. Beautiful. There's still so much to come. We're gradually moving to the tech part of, the discourse. And then again, we're going to have another panel session where we're going to discuss opportunities in technology, especially code and no-code tech, for young entrepreneurs and also for career builders. Before we go to our panel session, we'll take keynotes from two of our top speakers. We have two of them here seated in the house, wonderful people doing beautiful stuff. We'll take keynotes from the two of them, and then we'll go into the panel session. So I'm going to have to invite to the podium our very first tech keynote speaker. I'll read their citation and then hand over the microphone to them for just, a few minutes of insight sharing, after which we'll go straight to the panel session. We still have so much more. We have scholarships to be given out, and we have other parts of the events that would also unveil after, the second panel session. So please stay tuned. I'm sure there's so much for everybody to, partake from the event. All right, so our very next keynote speaker is a friend of the house. This person is no other person but Gbenga Totoi, who is an HR thought leader with interests in people development, organizational design, and institutional change. His focus is on helping organizations design and align long-term strategic aspirations with people-centered initiatives required to drive performance, profitability, and growth as well, efficiently bearing in mind the realities of the new world of work. Gbenga's professional work experience spans over 18 years, working in consulting engagement and practice with different organizations from major sectors of the Nigerian economy as well as Africa. He is currently the group head of HR at Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC and one of the partners at Allen and Grant, a people development company with major ongoing projects for mid to large corporates operating in diverse markets in Nigeria and in Ghana. He also serves as advisory board member for social development organizations like the Acts Foundation, a grant-making development organization. His work here involves reviewing applications from multiple NGOs seeking funding, and he reviews and validates those worthy of funding support and provides mentorship support all through the year. Gbenga equally serves on the Global Mentorship Grid for Nextford University, supporting their impact initiative in the education space. She Can Nigeria, which is an NGO focused on enabling women.
No, I'm fine. Thanks. Please just put our hands together for him. So I thank you so much for having me, and it's great to be in your presence, Mom. You are mommy to a lot of us, like you said. And if you ever want to know how powerful media can be, or the things we learned as we grow up, it's amazing how powerful it is, right? So if just to demonstrate how impactful this is, right? So everybody just follow me. A for, B for, C for. So at your age, you are still doing, you can't do business alphabet, right? It tells you how powerful media is. It tells you how the things we learned growing up, the things we see, just stays with you for forever. Because you learned it in a state of fun and excitement. It's got to leave you. Trust me, it's got to leave you. But it's A for alpha. At your age, it's A for alpha. Right? I'll make this very quick, also because, I know by the time we get into the panel session, we can get into a lot more question and answers. When I come to speak in sessions like this and we have a lot of speakers, the tendency is that we can be all over the place, we're in a rush, and it's difficult for some of you to really, truly just pick one thing that you can go on with. But I'll do this exercise. You have your phone here, and please just raise it. Just raise your hand. You have your phone here. Okay? You have at least one banking app or one bank app on your phone. Raise your hand. Just one, at least one. Okay, thank you. Put down your hands. You have two. Raise your hand. Okay, don't worry. I'm going somewhere. You have three. Raise your hand. Okay, four. Keep your hand up. If you have four. Now, wow. Five. No, and I'm serious. I did this once and I had five. Okay, five. Okay, this is the second time this is happening to me. 5 banking apps on your phone. Not on 2 phones, but 1 phone. Okay? 6. Let me break the record. Okay, you're a suspect. 6. Your case is different. 7. No, the actual apps. No, Nigeria alone. Let's keep Nigeria alone. That's why I say your case is different. Nigeria, banking, different bank apps on your phone. You have 6. Raise your hand. Okay. I'll take us back to, the last time I did this, the highest in the room was 5. And you know why I'm asking that question? I was teaching like this somewhere about, it was Museum Center, I believe it was about 5-7 years ago. And in the hall were former colleagues. I used to work in Wema Bank, and I had one of the executive directors in the room, and I had colleagues on the other side. And I just returned from a workshop that, honestly, I was still struggling to recover from. It was the first time in my life I was speaking about the future of work to a community of people with disabilities. And the reason why that was a challenge for me was, let's say this week I was in London in Festival of Works, what is called for human beings function in the future of workspace and development, how work is changing and all of that. I came back to Nigeria, 2 days break. The very next conference I was speaking on was to come and talk about this same thing, but it was at Federal Palace, and the whole hall was filled with people with some form of disability or the other. And I was talking about the same thing and present the same opportunity. And I was really overtaken with emotions because on one side of the hall are people who are used to begging for alms because they have disability. But in that same hall were people like, I believe her name is Ade Ronke Adeyinka, who was immediate special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on disability. She's got one of her legs, I will remember her full name, Ade something. She was in the same hall, and then Mr. Kola Olubogi was in the same hall, who leads one of the biggest background check companies in Nigeria today, and he's had disability. And I know people, by the time I'm done, will beg me for alms, but I also know people there who, one of the things I was telling them was that, for instance, with my research in the human capital space and linking with technology, I know that there is a special track, for instance, for people with disability, but who could use their hands, who can be trained as developers. Because guess what? Whilst you may not be able to move around in Lagos, you just need to have access to a laptop, internet, and you are producing and working for companies in the US, and you are earning in dollars. So I spent like an hour. Oh, by the way, I should also say, in my study on disability, so one disability somewhere around your 5 senses actually strengthens the others. And so, for instance, if you're literally crippled, or your sense of smell is bad, your sense of design or your ability to see a human being without the abilities. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. And so, you could be one badass designer, and it's an advantage that you have a disability, right? And I went on and on. I spent hours really just giving people these sort of examples. And I walked out of that hall, and the very next week, here I was. We used to work together in Wema Bank, and one phrase jumped out of my mouth. It hasn't left me since then. I said, if the bank where you work now becomes an app, what happens to your banking career? That phrase has not left me since then. And there was a silence in the room. I said, yeah. And I was like, I now followed it up again. I said, just before you are wondering what I'm saying is a bit of a strange thing to say, right here in this room, I used to work in the same bank that I have one of the EDs here, and I have colleagues waving at me on the other side of the hall. And I know when conversations about alerts started in the bank. Oh, by the way, at that time, Wema Bank was, say, 72 years old as an institution. And year after year, when we are rating the banks and rating players in the industry, Wema Bank was, I mean, if banks were 20, Wema Bank would be either 18, 19, or 20, right? By whatever indices, we're almost always coming from behind. Until the MD, God bless him, one day he said, you know what, let's stop chasing everybody. Can't we, I mean, if everybody's going like this and we are almost towards the end, can't we just find another direction to face and we are number one? Makes sense, right? And it was like, that was what led to conversation about starting a fully digital bank. Fast forward, the bank came, as at that time that I was speaking, I think the bank was about 3 or 4 years old. That's Alert. So that direction started what you called Alert by Wema. And as at that time when I was speaking, would be, say, 3 years or 4 years. But fast forward, by the 4th or the 5th year of Alert's operation, now listen to this, deposit mobilization by the app, that's money saved in the bank on Alert, had caught up with money saved physically in all the branches of Wema Bank. Was the same. 4 or 5 years. By the 5th or the 6th year, you can go and verify. I mean, it's not, I worked in the bank. Most of the work I do in consulting is in the financial services industry. By the 5th or the 6th year, credit activation, loans given and all of that was not yet the same with the bank, but was close to it. So I asked the question again. If the bank where you work, if you've always wanted to have a banking career and the bank where you work now announcing that we are becoming an app, what happens to your banking career? Oh, I should ask everybody seated here, do you really like going into a physical branch of a bank? So if you don't like going to a bank where you keep your money, what then should be happening to everybody that is working in and around banking? Now, this immediately suggests, oh, all banking jobs will go into extinction. No. What it means, though, is, and I've been saying something else for a while in Nigeria, and let me be bold again to say it. I think before the year 2030, a pure tech person with no banking career or background will become the MD of a bank in this country. We are not far away. I used to say 5 years, but I think we are like 3 years away. Oh, by the way, if you have not followed the news, if you have one of those bank accounts without a BVN, go and upgrade it. Well, it was announced last week that CBN is now, you have to upgrade. You go and upgrade it. This is my point. Tech is no longer support to the business. Tech is now the business. So while a bank used to be a financial institution using technology to sell banking products and services, a bank is now a technology company selling banking products and services. If the world you now live in has been brought together with tech, don't be an alien in the world. This world we now live in is truly, truly driven by technology. So you either have a core career in tech, and there are many parts. You're a developer, you're a designer, you're a product manager, you are in security, you are in growth marketing, and please, every digital marketing person here, the next time you are selling your because you don't understand it. Because if you are not using and making the most of LinkedIn, you can't have access to corporate clients. And there's a level of money you can't have doing digital marketing if you are not doing corporate clients. I know businesses in this country, in this Lagos, that are managing corporate clients just like you are managing individuals, and they are dealing in billions. Let me go back to where I was. Technology is the way to go. So you are either in core tech, or you take tech and add to whatever it is you're doing. And I mean whatever the heck it is you're doing. But that to live in this world today and not have technology adoption and knowledge and usage as a major thing, you are an alien. You are a parent here. Buy that child a tab. Send them to a coding school. You know that thing we used to do in church when we were going to do drama for children? What damage that thing did to a generation. Have you noticed that all the careers they only used to show was lawyer, engineer? Can you remember? That thing did a lot of damage to a lot of people. That world has changed. The world is no longer what it used to be. So I'm just showing us how real it is. If you have 6 banking apps and you don't like going to the banks, then the banks cannot but take tech to be core to their business. Oh, by the way, they are announcing another round of capitalization very early in the new year. So a few of the new banks that came out will have to come together again and all of that. That's how much your life has to change with the advent of technology. And it's amazing how it can just change your life in terms of positioning, in terms of earning. And by the way, to make you see this issue of Japa in a different way. Because if really comfort and earning in dollars is what you want, have the capabilities, stay in Nigeria or stay in Afghanistan, connect with any clients that want your capabilities anywhere in the world, offer your service, be allowed to be paid anywhere in the world, and you're fine. I hope this helps.
All right, we can do better than that. Let's put our hands together one more time. That was quite the session, right? But not to worry, it's still going to show up on the panel, so you get to ask questions and you get to dig a bit deeper into their minds, how they think. One thing I love about panel sessions is that when you ask questions, you can ask thought-provoking questions that even your panelists will go, now you know you got into the real cocoa, right? However, not to take too much of our time, we'll go straight to the second keynote just before the panel. And our second keynote course is Victor Gbenga Afolabi. I'm going to read his profile and then invite him to the microphone. Now, Victor Gbenga Afolabi is fondly called VGA. Is distinguished as an award-winning and tech-savvy business executive and leader, renowned for driving growth, fostering innovation, and achieving exceptional business outcomes. He possesses a robust entrepreneurial mindset, extensive industry acumen, and a fervent commitment to generating economic and social value. He's a recognized expert in mentoring startups, scaling ventures, orchestrating expensive global events, and implementing sustainable solutions. VGA stands as an exceptional visionary with more than 2 decades of industry experience, spanning venture building, venture scale-up, technology innovation, angel investing, business analysis, strategy development, and market expansion. His consistent record of achieving remarkable revenue growth and overall performance has solidified his position as an exemplary business leader. As the driving force behind GDM Group, a renowned marketing and media team, tailored services encompassing marketing, tech solutions, big data management, and comprehensive integrated marketing for global brands, multinationals, and the public sector. VGA's dedication to community and social good investment is evident. His involvement in shaping Lagos innovation landscape, curating tech events, and mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs underscores his commitment. VGA is a dynamic and accomplished business leader celebrated for his drive, talent, development, and social impact, contributing significantly to Nigeria's entrepreneurial ecosystem. And most importantly, on his profile today, VGA is my personal mentor. Please put your hands together as we welcome Victor Gbenga Afolabi.
Thank you. Don't mind me, I mean, I was trying to keep it short, but it caught me. So I've got 15 minutes. I'll try and do it like in 10 minutes so that we get to the panel session quickly to share. And thanks for having me here. And it's great for everyone that's turned up. I remember looking back 25 years ago. So one of the questions I get asked most times by young people today is, so how did it happen? You know, at times it's difficult. You know, people see the products, they don't see the effort. And I'm talking about you now. And I remember those days I used to run to the stadium. Maybe 2000, 2001. It was Matthew Ashimolo that used to come and teach 10 M's of money then. We'll go and queue. I used to go to Sheraton. Philip Consulting would take courses, training. It was 500 naira then, but it was a lot of money. 500, we used to pay it in 1999, 98 to go and learn some of those things. So you will assume that all this effort you put in will not amount to much, but trust me, when I look back 2 decades, it adds up, okay? It adds up. When there was a time for a full year, my weekends were dedicated to going to, there was even one Jimo Ibrahim used to do in Excellence Hotel in Ogba. On Sunday afternoon, you used to go there. People think that people fell from heaven. Thank you. They think you fall from heaven and the money. No. You remember, I was in that one. I didn't know you were there. Excellence Hotel. Sunday afternoon. Okay, I didn't even know him then. So I used to, and many of those times I didn't even have transport fare. So you take down for it to stop you, then you trek the rest. But today's story, eh? So when people stop me and they ask me, so how did you make it like in 1 minute? I don't know where to start. And I'm scared of also telling them that it takes 20 years of adding up to show that they might get discouraged. But life is about process. And it's based on that I want to talk this afternoon about navigating the startup landscape. Okay? Navigating the startup landscape. I started by sharing that because I know most people are very, interested about how to succeed. But rather than teach people how to succeed, I like to teach people more about how not to fail. A lot of people ask me how to succeed. But most times, I like to share with people how not to fail. In the process of you mitigating failure, you become successful. One of my mentors used to say, if you keep planning for bad days, then you experience only good days, okay? And that's what we'll talk about. I thought, but do I have my presentation on the screen? It makes it easier than for me looking at the phone. Where's sir, the MC, the compare, is the presentation on the screen? Oh, fine, I can drop this. Oh, life is better, sorry. Because I'm struggling, my glasses are only for reading, so I don't use it for sight. So when I do it, okay, so this is much better. Because staring with you, my glasses makes me feel like I want to fall down. Okay, so this is what we're going to look at. We're looking for strategy for startup success. I'm obsessed about startups. All the work I do, my PhD work is around venture, scaling, and success. Because one of the things we have seen, and I'll tell you why this is important, is especially in developing economies, and Nigeria most especially, we have a proliferation of startups and SMEs, but we have no corresponding poverty moderating effect. What that means is, normally in other economies, when you have so many startups, so many founders, everybody is doing their thing, it should create more jobs, am I right? It should create more money, am I right? But in Nigeria, it's counterintuitive, it's not happening. So what we see in Nigeria is that everybody has their own company, but too many people are getting poorer by the day. And that's why for me, it's an obsession to understand how can venture scale and how can venture succeed. The next slide. Don't worry about me. Let's keep it there fully. Only there. Only presentation fully, please. Good. So this statistics is very scary, but this comes from my PhD work also. Okay? I can fight you. Leave it here. Okay? So, and this interesting statistics, 1 out of every 200 startups fail. as entrepreneurs, it's very easy for us to get excited. You assume, like the film, and I'm happy my brother invested, and I was staying awake all night and all that. You assume once you just throw it in, it comes out right and all that. But again, the startup and the entrepreneurial space is not like that. And that's why I think it's important that we constantly engage and help ourselves understand how to scale. So when you look at it, in fact, half of the business fail in year one. And only 1 out of 200 will ever scale up. What does it mean for a business not to scale? Opposite business that is pushed by what we call entrepreneurial necessity, and entrepreneur by necessity. What that means is that people set up businesses only for themselves to eat. When you have businesses that are not scaling and they are set up only for people to eat, we call it entrepreneurship by necessity, apologies, you find that they are not able to have impact. And that's where the concern is. So today, when we talk about strategies for success startup success rather, it's we saying, how do you scale your business? How do you move from only you being general manager to cleaner, feeding only your mouth, to you being able to employ people, have impact? I'm sure when you all walked into this complex, I'm sure every one of you was excited. I'm sure. I was at the opening of the other apartment, I think maybe 3-4 years ago when it was opened and all that. Yeah, the other big building. And it's grown, its impact. That's called scaling. And that's what success needs to, that's the kind of success I'm talking about. The next slide, please. And so the strategies, and I'll quickly jump, it's only 5 slides, okay? Because I want to keep it short, 15 minutes. The first thing we see most times, and which I like to share with people, is that, do you understand the markets in which you are playing? Everybody wants to succeed, everybody wants to do a kind of business and all that. But hey, you need to make sure, and I know people, I pursue my passion. You need to make sure that that market that you are going to, you understand it. And there are 2 things about that I'll take out. First is that, do you understand the gap in the market? In HR, in film production, in technology, in hosting, in real estate, in agri-tech, in logitech, in e-commerce. Do you understand that market? Do you understand the nuances? Have you invested sufficient time in yourself to understand what you want to come and do in that market? First. Second thing for you to succeed is that, is there a market in the gap? First is there a gap in the market? Somebody is not doing this very well. Oh, I want to do this. This is my niche. Okay, no problem. But if you solve that market niche, will it generate income for you? Is there a market in the gap? There are many gaps that there's no market inside, which means you don't have so many people that are interested in it or want to pay for what you are offering. And we'll talk about that subsequently. I don't want to give too many examples. And then, of course, be agile and iterate. I invest in so many startups. I actually manage what is called a venture studio. Hazelnut Holdings is a venture studio, and what that means is that we have quite a number of ventures, about 15 to 18 portfolio companies run by different business operating managers, and they run differently. And again, I also invest in quite a number of startups. One of the biggest things I've seen that concerns me and bothers me around it is the fact that many of us do not understand how to iterate agilely. What does that mean? Bootstrap, sit down, try and test out this process first, over and over again. Understand it before you go and start borrowing big money and start calling for investors. Invest sufficient time. Before you even start going to go and look for grants, half of the time to look for grants, you are running around everywhere trying to go and do fundraising. Make sure you can agilely iterate first. Test it out. I tell people who want to quit their jobs to become startup, hey, don't be in a hurry. Calm down. Make sure that that thing is already going and there's a revenue coming for it before you resign. And don't resign because of a Wonder Bank. Some people, they put money in Nospeco. After Nospeco pays 2 times, then they resign. It happened to one of my staff like that. She was doing MMM. And then she came to work one day and resigned. And said, well, she wants to focus on her MMM to grow it. Unfortunately, 6 weeks after, MMM went down. So calm down, guys. Iterate and build. Scale, small scale. Let revenue start coming out before you start focusing on it. And I want to rush. The next thing is validate your business model. For you to succeed after you are built agilely, At times, it's for you to build in the night. It's to build on a Saturday. Don't be in a hurry to print that business card. Actually, you get to a level, you don't need business card anymore. It becomes load. Don't be in a hurry. You know, I used to teach a lot in LBS, and I remember a course I used to take them, which was about selling your vision. And in researching the work, we found out one of the major things that affects startups a lot, or SMEs when I was teaching then, is the fact that we enjoy so much dancing to the gallery. Our culture is a culture of showing off. You've just gotten your first 1 million, and you go and buy an Tokumbo X-Trail Jeep that will be taking 75,000 to 200,000 every month, so that they know that you own a business. Validate. Put so much investment inside to be sure that you have built a sustainable business model that will continue to capture value repeatedly. You need to move away from a hustling mentality. Anything comes, I do this, you jump another, to being a builder's business model that it can be revalidated. Revalidated means that this is how we make money, and you can explain it to everybody, and you can do it repeatedly. One day contract is not, you are not a business person. Somebody just call you now and say, go and supply 50,000 computers in Lagos State, and you say you're a business, you are not a business person. Because tomorrow you are not going to do another 50,000. And if they are Ministry of Defense, they won't call you, they don't know you. That one is because it's by chance. A business is ability to have a system that captures value repeatedly and on a sustainable manner. That's why when people come to me and they cannot show me their business plan for a new operating year, they don't have a business. What do you want to do? What are the pillars? How much value will you capture? How much is it in Naira and Kobo? If you cannot define that, you have no business. You have a hustle, which is fine. But you need to turn it into a business. That's success. Do you understand? And I know it's a lot I'm packing in, but that's how I know how to explain it. Then finally, flexibility and capability. And you take it to my next slide. Go to the next slide. Business and startups are like this. You need to be prepared and be very agile. Early this year, I got a license for a telecom. Interesting experience. For a telecom mobile company early this year. And it looked very exciting. We are still integrating and all those things. And I was about to launch November 17. I wanted to be one of the first to get into the market and all that. And a month before NCC summoned everybody, we are putting hundreds of thousands of dollars. Servers were in, everything in to start running. And then he said, they are struggling. How do we share revenue with our partners and all that? We've been on revenue sharing model for 4 months, and they are not likely to be able to resolve it in the next week because they say they want to go home for Christmas and all that. And guess what? Investment of close to $500,000 is stuck. There are surprises, there are ups and downs in business. If you are not able to be flexible and dynamic, you have issues. One of the greatest things I say with startup is that you are so fixated. That thing makes sense to only you, and yet you are going in. Stop. Calm down. Validate your business model. If you need to do what's called course correction, if a pilot is flying, not the one that took people to Asaba instead of going to Abuja, that one is wrong destination. Course correction is that you are going and you see cloud, then you course correct. You move and then you go this way. There are many ways to skin a cat. Keep a very flexible and dynamic mind. That's how to succeed. Because things can never be the way you expect them to. When the rubber hits the road, things change. Have a flexible mind. I'm not saying not be focused. You have a destination, but there are many parts. Next slide, please. Good. And always make sure that you constantly iterate to reinvent success. Go to the last slide. Ability to reinvent success is about you making sure you're constantly innovating because you keep a flexible mind, okay? And so, 5 reasons, 6 reasons rather, why startups fail. I'll read them out and I'll stop because I'm sure it's more than 10 minutes. It's first, lack of market fit, and I've told you what you need to do. Even if there is a gap in the market, if there's a gap, is there a market in the gap, even if you see a gap in the market? There are many things, startups doing so many things, but nobody's going to pay for them. It's not every idea that is bankable. And it's not every idea that is scalable. So make sure that works. The second thing is look at your business model. Some business models are flawed. How you constantly will do the business and make money is flawed. Startup will come, they will send all man on LinkedIn. Then I ask them, if I give you money, how do I see my money? Show me. Then you start explaining, in year 10, there's no business that I've not heard in this country. Music, label, streaming platform, artist management. Show me, even they are presenting, they don't know how they want to make money. How do you take somebody's money if you don't know how you want to make your money? So you need to understand that your business model can be flawed. Flawed means that I can't have error. It must be crystal working, are competent in what they are doing. The biggest challenge, and I was speaking with Benga before now, is that we have huge talent gaps. I consider heavily for Lagos State in area of technology. The biggest part that is slowing down the smart Lagos comes, we can't find people. We can't find people. We can't find people. So almost 80% of policies can't be actualized. No human being. To run the smart meters, traffic, everything. Let me give you a very interesting one. Let me give you an example. I sit on the board and I own the majority stake in one of the biggest indigenous renewable energy company in this country, okay? We build mini grids. Power about 50,000 consumers, giving them power. I'm sure you know what mini grid is. Our greatest problem is the fact that we don't know engineers who can manage our mini grids in Ondo. Half of my mini grids have failed, okay? But you understand mini grids, Abi? Mini grid is power. But the problem is where we put the grid, where we put the power supply, there's no NEPA, there's no pole. So when we go there, we build the pole, we put solar panels, and then we meter each house, and I put a smart meter. As you are buying meter, I'm supplying meter in Lagos. You understand? That's power. That's the way they do power. It's called mini grid. Read about it. The greatest problem we had in scaling is that there are no people. So half of the time, I send somebody to the field, they come back and destroy the whole grid. The whole thing will collapse. So when you ask, they read electrical electronics in one university, Akungba something. They have no clue where solar panel, PV panels, integration. They have no clue. How do you scale when they don't understand it? Like Benga was saying, our curriculum doesn't match. I've been employing people for 17 years. 70% of people I see, I need to retrain. Whatever they are bringing to the table doesn't make sense. From finance to anything. Let me round up. Customer retention, we'll talk about that. Sorry, what's this last one? Yeah, I mean, you need to make sure that many people are trying to innovate, but they've forgotten that your performance engine must be working. If you promise to give me shoe, make sure that you're giving that shoe before you iterate. Many of us do not understand how to deliver good value today to customer. To keep that customer, you're looking for new people. It's easy for you to sell to an existing company. If you promise them plots of land, it will be ready, or a product will be ready by social time. Understand how to manage your operations to deliver that. If you don't deliver that, scaling up becomes an issue. How many of you have been disappointed by Taylor or Cake or Small Chop people before? That's huge operational gap. How can they scale? Until you are able to repeatedly deliver value in a small scale, then begin to think of succeeding. I think that should be the last thing. So again, for me, I like to focus on why people fail. When you know why people fail, it's easier to build success. And for me, these are 6 things coming from my work in the last 17 years, PhD on the field, growing startups, managing startups every day. It's the fact that if you fix these 6 challenges of why startups fail, your chances of scaling and succeeding is much higher. Thank you very much. I hope I did excellent.
Let's put our hands together. Come on. Put our hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Thank you very much. It seems like he didn't finish his line of thought, but it's fine. We have the panel session to do that. So just so we can move straight to the panel session, I'm going to call again to the stage. Gbenga Totoyi, please put your hands together for Gbenga Totoyi. Come on, guys, we can do better. We can do better than that. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like VGA to come back to the stage. Put your hands together one more time. Let's encourage. Come on, let's encourage. You're encouraging me so that I can continue talking. Thank you very much. All right. Also joining us on this panel, we have CEO of Data First, Adetunji Ademuyiwa. Put your hands together. Mr. Tunji is a powerhouse. This man is powerhouse, but again. So I should please network with him before you leave this event. All right, also joining us on the panel is co-founder EasyPay, one of the leading tech companies in Nigeria today. Please put your hands together for Efosa Zua. Okay, and definitely for sure, moderating the panel, I'll be handing us over to our very convener, once again, Wisdom Ezekiel. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you are enjoying these sessions. You see, what makes a great person is the ability to maximize both little things and big things. It is not the ability to, it's not every time that things come in big package. You get what I'm saying? You must know how to take advantage of things, whether they are small or whether they are big. I've had opportunity to learn wisdom from foolish people. I've had the opportunity to learn success from people who failed. I usually talk about my in-law, very good in-law. The man can abuse somebody for a lifetime. So have you heard of things like, you are a very stupid idiot ignoramus? As in, the man can abuse. But if I tell you I learned a lot from the man, you'll be wondering, you should go to the ants to go and learn wisdom. You're wondering, what will I learn from ants? If you are not an observant person, even when the big knowledge comes, you won't learn from it. So what I'm saying in essence is that every dimension of this particular session, please learn as much as you can learn. It's not just about what we are saying, it's about what you are hearing. Because we can say something and you don't hear it. But listen with your inner mind, not just with your ears. Thank you very much. Put your hands together. Help me celebrate my panel members. So, we'll be kicking started. We'll kick started because I have Gbenga, so I need to be directing the Gbenga. So I didn't like the fact that the first side did not separate two of you. How can two Gbengas be sitting together? Eh? Okay. All right, let me start from my side here because I have a very big giant beside me. Please, you guys will help me appreciate this man. Sitting here, Mr. Tunji. He's the CEO, Data First. And I can say that ever since Tunji became CEO of Data First and started driving it, we have had such innovations that we have launched in Pertinence Group that has taken us to the next level. In 2024, we just came back from a retreat, a management retreat, and the plan that this man has for Pertinence Group is heavy. Data Force is doing wonders. I want to ask, what is that thing that drives you to want to create? What you do, to be sincere, I can't do it. I don't have the patience. I don't have the calmness. I don't know what else. Borrow me English, I will give you after. I don't know. So for somebody who is in this place, who is interested, what drives you? Because he has created a lot of platform. Realverse was created by this man. Remax was created by this man. Yeah, he has people working with him, but he is the core engineer that moves things. We are doing Greenland, created by him. Homify, created by him. One app created by him. I thought you'd be clapping for this guy. So we have a lot of people who want to go into tech or who are already in tech and they have not gotten close to what you have done. What drives you? Can you help us?
Thank you very much. Okay, so what drives me, I would say, is love for what you do. Because I've come to discover that it's natural for me to, as much as I really want to move into business, but it's just inside of me to code. So most of the time, I'm not under pressure.
Sorry, please, can you check your seats to be sure that they've not coded it? We never can tell what you have put on this seat. Because you have been doing some things there. I don't know what you are doing. I'm afraid of living with people like this because, they can know everything about you. Please continue.
Okay, so I'm not under pressure because I love what I do. A lot of people do it because they feel that there is a lot of money in tech. And I've had to talk to a lot of people that, how can I get into tech? And the next question is, when can I start making money?
But money is important. Why am I taking if I cannot make money?
Yeah, it is actually, but I think you have to build depth before you are able to make money. When we were in school that time, we do a lot of things playfully. I've built a school platform. I've built a lot of things that I've even went to schools to do presentations and they were like, wow. But I don't have the business to move it forward and all that. But I just love the fact that I love what I do. You create something here and you see it working. You see thousands of people using it and they're happy using it and the thing is flowing smoothly and all that. There are times I will sit down, whatever it is that I've built, I'll test it myself. I'll see everything flowing, and I just feel happy, not because of what I get
So
from
your
it.
product excites you.
Yeah.
The fact that you can create. So can you say that that is very well needed in the tech space, that people must be able to get excited about what they are creating? They must have that energy. It shouldn't just be money driven.
Yeah, so that is very much needed, because that is even what is going to drive you to learn more. You see that learning becomes very easy because you are not forcing it on yourself.
There's one question I want to ask about learning. So because I want to get a lot of things out from you guys, I will be interrupting you when you talk sometimes just to get a lot. Learn more. Can't I just learn tech once and for all? Just know everything once and for all, and I don't need to learn more.
The funny thing is, those things I learned last year, they're almost outdated now. So,
Wow.
so I have to keep learning.
Did you hear that?
Because you'll be left
The
behind.
things he learned last year, they're almost updated now. So you have to keep learning. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. I'll come back to you. Dr. Efosa, I'm aware, and I know you don't like me saying this, but I will say it because you can't do anything to me. Yeah, you can do something to me, but you can't do much. Yeah, you can't do much for now. You know, I'm still holding the rope that can drag your leg. I'm aware you are doing your PhD, and you're almost through. Yeah? Or you're through now?
Rounding up.
Rounding up. And is in robotics
Artificial intelligence.
and artificial intelligence. Sorry to say. Oh.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, use the mic. Use the mic, sir.
So, I have a personal problem. It's a big problem
Yes, sir.
because I came into 2023 and I was telling everybody that cared to listen, particularly in HR, that, and I have to hold back my tears now because this, I think, is the crux of the matter. What some of us just heard now is validation for people here not to do anything. Because, forgive me, half of us here will have just thought, where on earth will I get money? I've not even finished first degree. Where I want to do doctor, PhD in robotics. Half of the people that will listen to this have parents, uncles that know next to nothing on what robotics and AI is. There are people that are going to hear this that maybe they will leave here now excited, get home, want to do this, but a uncle, a auntie, a sister, a boyfriend, a girlfriend will knock it out of their head. So I've been asking everybody since I came into this year, what does it take to manage the average Nigerian? To understand that there's that pressure between learning and earning. The average Nigerian wants to earn a living.
Without learning a living.
So if you are telling that person he or she needs to learn something before they can earn a living, it's not entering. It's not entering. And that's level one. Level two of the challenge is that person is going to spend a lot more time trying to earn a decent living. The longer time that person spends in that space, it becomes more and more desperate because they are not learning. So they will never be able to jump to this other side of the divide. And then desperation push them into crime, push them into many things. And this becomes a reality. This is a reality. But the truth is, you have to do this to be able to break that course. Let me say what many people...
Maybe I want to say something too.
So again, I understand that a lot, and let's go back to the conversation we're having. And sorry, we're not sure your question, but we took it off. But I wanted this to land
But
a
I
bit.
wanted to add one to it so that while you are discussing, you also know where I'm coming from. The reason why I had to say that. Efosa, sorry, I'm also exposing you again. Efosa is still in his 20s.
Great.
Still in his 20s.
Nice. Yeah.
In fact, sorry.
Don't
just
say
take
the
it
answer
out.
figure. Don't say the figure because. So again, you were saying something earlier on when we were talking about the fact that unlike UK, Canada, and the rest, there's a level playing ground.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back where if I finish school, automatically I can get a job, I can get a council flat, I can get all that. Do you understand? And that's why there's this massive jackpot thing. Okay. Guys, let's wake up. Reality, we don't have it. I grew up in a very remote local place in the north, okay? Hausa is my first language. So when I'm very upset, I abuse you in Hausa. That's how I think. But my parents I didn't have a spoon. So it wasn't wooden, plastic, or silver, or whatever. No spoon.
Raising hand.
Well, no spoon. And I'm going somewhere, okay? A couple of years down the line, I've got 300 employees, I've got thousands of people. I drove down from Banana Island today. I'm not sure what I want that I don't have. Every one of us in my family, myself and my wife are doing PhD in outside the country. We're paying dollars, my kids are out. I'm painting a scenario. But guess what? My parents didn't have a spoon for us. So let me go back to where I said, so to draw it up. Let's wake up. This is not UK or Canada or anywhere. This is Nigeria. What do I know about this country? You don't have that level playing ground. But you can create your own ground. The challenge I have with young people, which is what I want to say, is let's not be in a hurry to be like him, so to say. Because this is where you break the glass ceiling and you shatter it. But to create a balance is that, guys, two things you need to know is you can't be in a hurry in this journey. You can't be in a hurry. An average Nigerian can have a decent living and a decent wage. What have I seen managing people 17 years? Before then, I worked in a multinational Nestle, recruiting for sales and marketing people. Worked for 23 countries seated in Ghana. We're in a hurry to show off that success. We're in a hurry to prove to people that you are successful. If we're not in a hurry, I think and I believe you can combine two things together. You can be earning and be learning. Because we don't
knowing fully well
that you are going somewhere.
That you are going somewhere.
I
And
never,
that
yeah.
If you even stop learning, what you learn will
Will
expire.
become obsolete. But what we are trying to do is that we're too obsessed with politicians and their glamour. You like too much what the guys doing, not YouTube, Yahoo boys are doing. You like what the hookup girl is wearing. And therefore, you interpret yourself as a failure. And that's where our biggest problem is. Guys, most of the people you see on that social media, what they do in UK, you can't do it. And the reason why we are not earning and we are not learning together is that we have chosen a path of we want to show off and we are looking for shortcut. I'll end. I know I'm talking too much. I'll end. My younger brother left and jackpot. And I'll tell the clear story, okay? And he left first master's degree, UK, came back. We did jackpot. He went for his second master's degree with the family and everything and finished reading in UK. You can imagine how much you pay in pounds to finish. First job he got for 1 year. In short, before the first year, he called me one day. He was working in a meat shop. Aaron, butcher. He was carrying meat. He was having health issues. And I'm sure many of you can relate. 2 master's degree. Finished with electrical electronics in ABU's area. So he's not young. He's not small. 2 master's degree. He did that for a while. After that, he went to work in a manufacturing place where he was filling cans of Dettol. It was recent that he's now about to get his first semi-real job. Put that together, guys. How many of us are willing to pay the price? So before we start saying that others are better, are you willing to start? You can get here, but are you ready to start? Sorry I took some time, but I wanted to create the context.
Thank you very much. Evosa, look at what you cost. You caused a lot of rumbles here. So where I'm actually going to is, what is all this? Why are you? Where are you running to? Where are you in a hurry? I don't understand. So because somebody is sitting here now, and when hearing that somebody in his 20s is already doing PhD in one thing that I don't even understand, it's now that I started knowing AI. So where are you running to?
Robotics. Okay, so I think one of the mistakes that happen is that a number of people don't share their stories. So I'm I'm sitting down here today, you know, in my late 20s, and it's actually more than 10 years I left school. Do you get? So I think that if people put perspective to that story, they'll be able to understand. So I got my first real job, like you said, semi-real job. I got my first real job where they were paying me per month, you know, after 8 years of leaving school. You know, in that journey, you know, I've run a bakery. You know, those people that sell bread along the road, I've sold bread. You understand me? I've had to do farming, you know, enter into Ifo market, Abeokuta market. You understand me? Do all those things. I'm going to, so, you know, I've had to do all those things. I've had to do a lot of volunteering. I've had to do a lot of free jobs, you know. But one of the things I know that did not stop was that I was learning through that process, you know. So I think that when people put perspective to these things, people would understand that he said something, you can't be in a hurry. So I told myself that before I'm 30, I need to be able to provide well for myself and my family. Now, to give you perspective, I graduated from the university at the age of 17. You know, and I got my
Sorry,
first...
who is your father? I need to change my father.
You know, I got my...
Mr. Afolabi, don't you think we need to change fathers? 17.
You know, I wrote my first JAM and my first WAEC and NECO at the age of 12. And I got my admission...
Can we share the grace?
No. I'm going somewhere. And I got my first admission into the university at that age. Now, the only reason why I didn't get to the university at the age of 12 was because they said, you know what, I needed to be a teenager. So I deferred that admission, and the next year I got to university. Now, if people see that process, it also took me more than 10 years to get to where I am. Now, I got my first real job after 8 years. 2 years after that time, I am who I am today. Do you get my point? Now, the point is, there were a lot of work in the progress. There were a lot of days where people did not see me. You know, there were a lot of days where I had to do like the hard work, the unreasonable work. So with my master's degree, I was selling bread. Yes, I was hawking bread because I was carrying bread in basket from Songwater. I would go to Aton. You understand me? Then I'll go towards Idiroko border side.
Sorry,
You understand?
are you, it's like you are making a mistake. Are you saying Aton in VI or...
No. You know,
Sorry.
in Ogun State. Then I would turn like that to Ilaro. You understand me? Then I would go from there to Abeokuta. Then I would come back in a single day. Now, I learned how to operate the oven. I learned how to roll the dough or match the dough. I learned how to cut. I learned how to bake. You understand me? So I had to do a number of... So you see all these things I encapsulated in my life. But what people actually see right now is co-founder this, PhD this, young guy this. But there were a number of things I had to endure, basically. And that's why I tell people, you can't fly. It doesn't work. You can't fly, basically.
Wow. So let me go to Gbenga Tutoyi. I know you do a lot with young people. One of the common passion that we all have here is that we want to see young people get into some huge opportunities that can help our economy. Because Nigeria is said to be an economy that is growing very fast. Said to be a population that is growing very fast with young people. Yeah. And if we are not very careful, in the next maybe maximum 10 years, there might be a problem in this country.
Median age is 18.
Yeah. So how do you channel the passion of a young person, especially in the area of tech? You know, because right now, there are two kinds of tech. Okay, no, sorry, three. You know, so there is the tech of code, there is the tech of no code, and there is the tech of...
Yahoo Plus.
Why did you take it off me? So there is the Yahoo, the thing. So they are all tech. Yeah. You know, so, and right now, what you have right now It's more people trying to do the Yahoo dimension of the tech rather than doing the main tech. Now, can I ask a question directly?
Sure.
Is there more money in the Yahoo than there is in the core tech?
Yeah, no, say that again. Don't let me.
Yahoo versus core tech. Which one is more profitable?
Core tech.
Sir, can you explain?
Please,
Because Yahoo, I start now, I send somebody 1 or 2 message, and before you know it, they credit my account. But this core tech, I have to begin to do pre-valuation, post-valuation, pre-money, post-money, before I can make something substantial. And
see, don't let's. I can give examples back and forth, but I love the way the direction of the conversation went, and I'm happy I broke protocol to do that, because I was not trying to validate how hard it is and use that as an excuse not to do the other side. But I just wanted to quickly help us to open up to the stories behind what looks glamorous that is sitting here today, right? That's why I did that. But a very recent example, so if we are talking money, which is a good enough motivation, right? In the context of Nigeria and Africa, we have to use the fact that you can earn a decent living, or you can show example of making money as a motivation to set people on the right path. I believe in that. 2 is that, why would Yahoo Plus and the rest gain ground and, capture a lot of young
they even
men?
have an association.
See, I was born in
Yeah,
Oshodi.
it's like a cartel.
I was born in Oshodi. I grew up in Owerri. I sold pomo on the rail line.
Sir, sorry, stop. Don't
No,
say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. It's not,
37 in Reku Street.
are you trying to? Is it because Fosa said it?
We all are.
Don't say that.
Where
You
I'm
don't
going-
look like somebody who sold.
Leave
Talking pomo. You don't look like someone who sold meat. Don't talk of selling pomo. I don't understand.
Where I'm going with the story, let me jump,
Yeah.
is Egbeda. So this area was notorious for Yahoo. It was notorious for Yahoo boys. If you go back 10, 15 years, this environment. But where I'm going is, and I don't want to be ahead of myself, is we have, so the MMMs, the Nospectus, and I was surprised you referred to Nospectus as well. If you check the crux of it, one is the hunger to survive. And it's real. But once that hunger or that desire is not channeled, we open up ourselves and our generation to that next uncle, that brother, that guy on the street who flashes money, who takes care of my uncles and aunties or my parents, to influence me. I mean, who am I to tell my parents who just collected my school fees from a Yahoo guy on the street that I will not do what that guy is doing? Who am I to tell that guy who I know where, I mean, they gave back to us at the same time, he came on this, I know where and how he got this money. If you tell me it's not good, but you are not giving me money or you're not showing me another route, I'm going to believe that guy. That's foundational. That's one. So I'm saying that to every one of us that is making money legitimately and that is doing money, and thank you for sharing your story. But you are one story out of every other 10 story. Theirs is louder than yours. That is why we have a generation that would say Yahoo Plus is better, or what every other person is doing that we know is not legit is better, because we perhaps don't. Okay, sorry. Let me do this as an example. Before this event, if you knew this man, if you know him, and you've heard of him, raise your hand. Before this event, please. You know him well before this event, raise your hand. Okay, sorry, let's do it the other way. It's the first time you are knowing of him when you saw this poster, or you are seeing him first time here. Please raise your hand. Sir, see what I'm talking about? And as far as Lagos State is concerned, and technology investment and the direction for technology as a state is in the top 1%.
Oh, you didn't know? We are powerful, man. Okay. We invited him, man.
Let me start another example.
But why didn't you know?
How would
supposed
they
to be
know?
a tech person.
How would they know? How would they know? If I ask everybody now, bring out your phone and go on Google search, and we check the last 10 things you have been searching on Google, then we'll begin to see where the problems are. Yeah, then we'll begin to know where the problems are. He's doing an event in December. I know how many billboards in Lagos carry that event. But you see, you can't see it because you're not looking for it. You're not looking for it.
But don't worry, because you came, your case is different.
So my point is, that's the bigger problem, but it also shows us the area for impact. It also shows us that that's why we are happy when we do things like this. To show to us that it is possible. I'm telling you, someone who is advising Lagos State government on technology is here. He's not Yahoo. And see.
And to just buttress what you just said, this program, the money that sponsored this program in terms of setting it up was just last week, today Saturday, this week. I just looked at one of the tech platforms that we have, and I just withdrew. I withdrew 2 million from one of the tech platforms, and I said, okay, let's start spending. So I'm doing my own kind of Yahoo in a right way.
Yeah. And you can sleep. And you can sleep. There's no running.
And I can go on a platform.
They will talk about it the way they need to talk about it. They will make the noise. They will buy the cars. Those things will attract us. But it's not sustainable. It's not scalable. It can't be repeated. And I know in an environment where big names, I mean, it's hard. Big names that have made money illegitimately, doing Yahoo Plus and all of that, we'll flaunt it. We'll have followers. We'll have likes. We'll have comments. We will hear this thing again and again. We will see it on IG. We don't know how unconsciously these things affect our mind. For me, that's what I'm calling our attention to. But I'm saying to us today, it is possible in Lagos, in Nigeria, to find the right path. Stick with it. Learn. Start. And you will find the opportunities. You will find help along the way. I mean, in this same Lagos, some of you will also be shocked. There's opportunity for you not to have money to even buy your laptop, but to be learning how to code and live in the place. Okay, you have heard of Decagon Institute here. Raise your hand. And semicolon. You know of Decagon and semicolon. Raise your hand. Okay.
You know of Decagon?
Decagon. So put down your hand. Let me repeat myself. I'm saying you don't have money, but you want to, and your grades are very good in school, but they would train you, give you the laptop, and you only start paying back as they put you on a job in this Lagos. Semicolon, please. Those are the kind of things you should be searching online. Semicolon. And then Decagon Institute.
Semicolon is in full, or not just semicolon.
You get what I'm trying to say? Those are examples, those are possibilities that recognize the challenges that are in our space, that can make you like another Esosa, and that can get you out of however dark or however challenging your reality is.
And the good thing again is that today we are going to be sponsoring 10 people from this audience who are going to learn the core tech. Yeah, 10 people are going to be sponsored. Courtesy Quanta Innovations. The guy who anchored that, Mr. Emmanuel Osubu, is the COO, Quanta Innovations, and Quanta is known for training a lot of tech talent, and all of that. And I think we have had Mr. Benga Afolabi as part of our trainers. So we have trained a number of people in the tech. So they are going to be sponsoring 10 people today in partnership with the WeCare Foundation. So 10 people. Yeah. And for those of you who don't want to do You say you just want to do product design, you want to do things that are not code in nature. We're also sponsoring 10 people in that area and all of that. So let me get to Mr. Afolabi. So 2 questions I want to ask, and you can answer them interwovenly. How did you get here? How did you get here? The things I know about you, I can't say. Some, Mr. Gbenga has spoken about them a little, but I know much more than that. I know much more than that, and I know where we're coming from. So how did you get here? How did it all just transform? And for somebody who is sitting down here, who wants to get to the point, I know we have talked about all the learning and all of that, who want to get to the point where they can stand or sit on this kind of panel and talk to other young people in the nearest future, what do you think they should start doing from now? Okay, the microphone.
Okay. So again, I honestly think that journey is cumulative. One of the things that they said the biggest miracle is the miracle of compound interest. Okay? If only people see compound interest not as money, but as your own life, I want to do small, and then you're multiplying it, is the fastest way to explode. And I'll start from the previous way you've said about Yahoo and crimes. And it's not just Yahoo. I mean, I've worked in different stages where I've seen people take shortcuts. What I've constantly seen is that those shortcuts, they are not sustainable. They crash faster than those that go through the steady path. So I really want to encourage that Yahoo people will make it quickly now. They will flaunt. The problem is when I look back, you find out after years, you leave them behind. And a clear example, when we were growing up, our parents struggled to send us to school, and we had other parents growing up where their kids couldn't go to universities, like say, it was not the vogue thing. So many of them ended up being mechanics and radionics, and they were repairing refrigerators back then in the north. Guess what? When we were going to university, struggling, they were already having one-room apartments, they had television, they had video, VHS that time. The ladies would go and watch video in their place. They were the reigning boys. They would buy jeans, 1,200. We couldn't buy jeans. We were using Chinox. But when you look back today at where they are, many of them can't even call us by name anymore, despite the fact that we're age mates. They now just start to call you chief. It's because when your name is very heavy in somebody's mouth, they call you chief. Bossa. So again, it's the same thing you will find, but give it time, you see that your whole thing. How did people get in here? I don't want to be a motivational speaker because I'm not one, but I think many of us are not hungry for success enough. If you are hungry for success, I think being hungry for success enough, I want to say should be the most important thing. Don't wait for government. Don't wait for that uncle. You as a person, are you hungry enough? So how did I get here? Honestly, I can't say there was a magic formula. I just know that even right now, I am hungry to be better than where I'm coming from. This year alone, we launched 4 portfolio companies. 4 portfolio companies. And it's because I think we can just do better. We can just be better. So let's go back to it to say, I think the best formula, like you've asked, is have that innate hunger. Not to take shortcuts, not to want to oppress, but that, can I be better? I was speaking in a forum about 3 weeks ago and I said, I've changed my career 4 times. 4. You know what it means? So I trained as a pharmacist. Most people don't know that.
Farmer?
I'm a pharmacist. Year 2000, I took as a pharmacist. I started my first set of career selling pharmaceutical products in patent medicine and stores. And then I went back to school. I was doing pharmacy and I was going to school to read consumer psychology and all that. And then I changed my job, went to a multinational company and started doing marketing and strategy and all that. And they took me around the world. And I came back, I went into marketing communications. I'm only 6 years old in the tech space. 6 years. That's
6 years.
That's my 4th career change. But today, I'm sitting in policy formulations. I was part of the people that designed the Lagos State Innovation Master Plan in 2019. So if you see all those dots that they are digging, all those plans, everything that's happening around Innovation Master Plan that this country, I was part of people that sat in there 6 years ago. So again, I'm not saying it to glamorize myself. I'm saying is that if I did not change from that guy that left school, I was still selling patented medicine, or most of my colleagues wanted to have a shop, and then initially they are driving Tokubo cars, feeling hip, but they didn't know that expenses and things in your life will catch up with that 30,000 you're earning per day. Because you can't buy business class ticket with 30,000 naira per day in a shop in Ketu. But my first business was 29 Doyomolulu Street, Ketu Alakpere. I opened the first pharmacy, my first real business, while I had a job in a multinational. I opened that business 30th of March in 2006. 8 years after, I bought a health insurance. I have a national health insurance company. From that pharmacy, it grew in that direction. The question is, are you hungry enough? There's no 1 + 1 because we all find our parts. But it's to be sure. For me, I hated the fact that why should money define a lot of things? And I felt that I wanted to conquer it. Personal goal. Why do people do hookup? Is it exciting? Why are they doing Yahoo? So people think that this money and being successful is not important. But ultimately, 90% of the time, that's what people are thinking about. How to pay their rent, pay school fees, buy a car, and all that. So I understood that, and I wanted to conquer it in the right way. So that was my part. If you ask me, what did I do? I only knew that I was hungry enough, and I was constantly iterating, constantly improving. What's happening? I wanted to be there. I'll go back to school, I'll learn, and then I try to succeed. That's my part. How can you do it? It's also the same thing. Create a formula for what works for you, but are you hungry enough to want to succeed? Not to steal, not to do crime. Because ultimately, do you really think Yahoo is easy? To stay overnight at night, those things, it's really not that easy. So my encouragement, again, how can you get in there? If I've changed my career 4 times, from pharmacy today doing tech, and all these post-money things you talk about, I do them like this. We bought an agency banking company 3 months ago, an existing one. I'm not a finance person. I've spent the last 2 months, morning, night, understanding how agency banking runs and how to scale it. Every day. How can you have a company you don't know how it runs?
Can you slow down a little?
Which one?
So, because I want to buy some things, but I see you are buying everything, starting everything.
So, but it's that hunger. So please, my encouragement, there's nothing too difficult for you to know, or a path too difficult for you to play. Just be hunger. Be hungry enough. Not because you want to oppress somebody or you want to show off that you've arrived, but hungry because you can be better. If I can move from pharmacy to tech, every other person can, and that will be the best answer for that.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me come back to my guys here. Mr. Tunji, you have built a number of platforms and you have led the team that have built world-class platforms. In fact, we recently launched our Reverse 2.0. When I look at the platform, I'm just impressed. What are the things that me, I'm not into core tech. I've never written one code. Because when I see the code that you people write, I get confused. Comma, dot, hyphen, and you don't put all those things together, and I'm just wondering, what's all this? And you say, no, don't touch it, you will distort the entire thing. I don't care about touching it, just show me the outcome. Now, what are the ingredients, or what are the things that makes a tech platform a good tech platform? And how can someone who is in the tech business, especially in the code tech, now begin to develop themselves where they can now begin to build world-class platforms? Because I've seen you build one. You have built one, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
Okay, so what makes a tech platform to be?
What makes a tech platform a world-class platform? What are the ingredients? And how can I, as a tech person, begin to get myself involved in a way that I can now begin to build world-class tech platforms?
Okay, so let me start from the second question. So a lot of you believe that everything about tech is coding. It's not coding because, of course, right now it's even easier. There are product managers. There are product designers. Back then, in those days, it's the same person that built the back end with the person that will build the front end. No design, you just bring it out.
Those days that you are used to be the one to build everything.
Yeah, we are used to it. But these days, it is simplified. Yeah. You can specialize and say, okay, my own is, I just want to design very good user experience. Some people are even user experience designers, user interface designers. So that one may not, you don't necessarily need to code. and you can do it well and be very good at it. So there is still back-end development. So those are the things running behind the scene that nobody sees. The only thing people see is the front end, the buttons you click and everything. That's the front end. So for somebody to get into it, what I used to tell people is that you probably go and do a research for yourself, understand the tech ecosystem to a good extent, and then you now choose for yourself that, okay, I think I'm interested in this. Then you can now choose what you want to learn and move on from there. But a lot of you just believe that once I just get in, I want to build a mobile app.
Okay, I need you to hit the nail on the head, and I want to give you an example. Recently, there was a particular platform that we built called Settle Quick. All right? Settle Quick. We just launched Settle Quick. Settle Quick today will be giving out, I think, free consultation on immigration for, I think, about 5 people or thereabouts. So if you want to jackpot, all right, you just go to settlequick.ca, settlequick.ca, and you can sign up. And now, the person who built the platform is also here, right? Now, we had a challenge when we were building Settle Quick. We got the concept, we just wanted to be everything immigration. Before you land, we want to help you settle fast, all right? And the person who was in charge of the tech infrastructure, asked us a question, because he was very busy then. We said, let's not distract him. Let's get one of the guys that, work with it so that they can put together. He asked us, he said, do we want a that thing again? High performance team or a mid-performance team? And we said, yes, I want high performance. He said, for high performance, it will cost this. We said, no problem, we are willing to pay. And by the time they delivered the high performance, it was below low performance. This was the same person that came to rescue, and what they did is what you can find on that platform right now. And they even did in a rush. So what I'm saying is that even with all the tech knowledge, some people still build low performance. So I'm asking, what makes you build a high performance? What is in your mind? Because some people are here, it's not like they cannot code. It's not like they cannot put 1 or 2 tech platform together, but they put it together, and when you come, you are. So you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so what I would say is that a lot of people are not patient enough to learn the details of these things. So they just want to do something fast. I want to learn it fast. Some people, they will promise you that come and learn web design. You design a website in 1 day. But a lot of people don't know all the nitty-gritty of all of these things before they put. Of course, sometimes you may even build it, it will work, but you end up seeing that by the time 100 people log into the platform and everything is so slow, nothing is working and all that. So there are so many things to learn that you cannot even see. There are things that you don't get to learn in the first month, in the second month, in the third month. You would have done a lot of things that you now start discovering that, oh, this works like this. But if you're always in a rush, for example, I've interviewed somebody that says, so we want to employ somebody for a front-end developer. And I was like, okay, tell me your experience. And it was like, I've done React, I've done this, I've done that. Why are you doing a lot of things? My friend told me this is what is raining now. That's why I jump from year to year. So he ends up knowing a lot of things, maybe 1% of everything, and then he cannot actually do something effectively. So that's the problem that a lot of people have.
So what you're saying now is majorly learning. But I think learning is constant. But I think one other thing I've seen in you is being able to, realize where you are and not argue with the reality that you have, and tell yourself that there's need for improvement. And apart from that, you are very committed to what you do. Give it to this man. Commitment is it. Because the reason why you may not be able to come up with world-class innovative platforms is because you are not committed to it. No commitment. More of what we see is that people are more focused on the money than they are focused on delivering the job. On creating value. Money more than value. But this guy committed in spite of money. We discuss money issues, though, but he's less of money, more of creating the value.
I do a lot of conferences and events.
You guys say he needs money.
No, ultimately we all do. But just to give it, and this is what I see every time. So I was looking for somebody that we could groom as a speaker as a compare, an MC for an event. I wanted a female we're grooming. So the introduced me, and I sat down and I said, okay, I do a lot of events. Most times I have VIPs coming. You're talking about Arts of Technology Lagos. I'm having 2 ministers speak. The governor is speaking. The deputy governor is going to speak. I have commissioners speaking. The commissioner for information and technology is flying down. I mean, I have someone flying all the way from US who has one of the biggest streaming platforms. They come down. I've had the co-founder of Y Combinator, Sibel, speak. I've had the Buka Usika speak. Oshibajo came to speak. Pantami spoke last year. So, and then I met this young lady and I said, the person I used to work with for years has gone to the US to give birth. She's not looking the part. She's now looking like a mommy, which is okay. I wanted somebody else who, I said, so how much do you want to pay? I said, no, I wanted you to just come. So the first day she came, she was going and said, won't I pay that she's come to see how we organize events? Give transport money, but that was the last time. Today, I pay 2 million per event, per compare.
Can I be your compare for I did well.
It's not my fault. They pay.
I'm doing well.
They're international events.
Sir, please.
That's the reality. It's the reality. So the vibe young people give out is on top how much? What can 50,000 solve in the grand scheme of things? If I was obsessed about running a shop and being a big man, driving second-hand Tokumbo, BL 48 FKG, Honda Bullet, was what I was driving then. If that Tokumbo moto was what I was driving, you know that Bullet.
My own way was Nissan Quest. That Nissan Quest it has a mind of its own.
You tell you where to walk away, not to go to work.
You get to Ikeja and just park and
if I was
go the rest.
Obsessed with that in Ketu Alakpere, then I won't be here now. So again, I'm sorry I jumped in. The vibe is, nobody is saying don't like money, we all do. Look for long-term value. How am I solving value? Every time I do induction for all my staff. And I always ask them about this exercise. Do you want to be an employee or an apprentice? God never wanted us to be employees. We are all supposed to learn. The Igbo apprenticeship mode, everything. You must pour water on somebody's hand to get there. I know it's a generation that wants to drag everybody and cancel people who are not interested. You will be stranded. The only person that nobody helped or gave a door or leverage is God. Every one of us, somebody held the door for us. Everybody. Whether you are president or who, somebody recommended you. Somebody mentioned your name. Somebody said he's a good guy. Somebody opens the door for you. If you don't make yourself an apprentice to pour water on somebody's hands, to volunteer, to show up, to be there to assist, to learn, you'll be stranded, sir. So back to it is, we are not looking at long-term value. We're getting more transactional. What's in it for me? I'll not come. Just watch event. You won't give me anything. Give me transport money. Give me tax for coming. You are in our mind also. We have cancelled you. We don't go to Twitter, but we are the ones that open the door for people. The door gets closed because you are not qualified to be at the table. And if you are not at the table, you are at the lunch. So you decide.
Some people, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Wenga, you need to take the mic. Some people will have opened the door for them. They broke the door. Some people will give them the kettle to say, pour water on their hand. We didn't see the kettle again. So,
young people, and I'm young myself, but
yeah,
I'm sure
I like you to also say that because the way you have been saying young people, I'm just 41.
I'm very young.
Sir?
Once you cross 40, you are not a youth.
Sir?
Global definition.
Despite what you are wearing, I know that's what you are about to show.
Once you hit 40, you are not young anymore. Use the time for the young people.
There is an amount of money that you can never work for. Maybe I'm not saying it the right way. So we want money, we want to have money, we are in the hustle for the money. But there is the value. Okay, I'll use Dangote as an example. let's put a value on the entire project in Lekki. And let's think that it will need to submit to collateral to be able to raise that money. I can see the way this guy is laughing. So how much would he have to put down as collateral in real cash or value of property to be able to now raise the money he would have required to put all that facility together? You can begin to think it. If you then also want to trust in your own talent, capabilities, and all your hustle and your energy, there is a limit to the amount of money and value that can get you, no matter how good you are. But you see, there is access, and I think that's what Mr. Benga is trying to call. There is access. There are places where your name will be mentioned for good and bad, and you would never be aware of it. And that comes only in people. People that can speak for you, people that you have access to, people that have been watching you, people that have heard the things you say, people that you have been spoken of to. That was even worse, where your name has been mentioned and you are never aware of it. I'm trying to say to everybody here, I'm in business. I've run a business 8 years now. I've not had a salesperson 1 year or 1 day. It's been references. And I have seen references cost me real money, where we did something and it wasn't so great, or it was an error, or we made a mistake, we didn't apologize early, or we didn't go back to remedy the situation, we didn't own up on time. And I've seen places where we didn't even qualify. I'm telling you, we didn't qualify. I've seen requests for proposal from organizations, and just that email saying send a proposal, I was jumping. That if this organization can ask us to send, and to find out how that happened, it's just human beings who decided to give access to their network and all of that. And I'm only saying, it's tough, it's challenging, it's crazy, it's like that everywhere in the world. But if you can just cool down a bit, find that thing and stay with it, and get better on a daily basis, even you will be shocked how the doors will open and how these things will come together.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let me come to Efosa as we begin to round up. I like the way the conversation has gone. I enjoyed the interruptions. They were worth it, really. So Efosa, I want us to just now speak to some specific things as regards tech. How has tech changed your life?
Okay, so I think I would try to just wrap up from like what they've said. And I think I will speak, some people on this panel are claiming young people. You understand me? But we that we are young. You understand me?
I am young.
So I think I'm going to actually...
I'm not claiming it, I am young.
I think I'm going to
Instead
actually...
of you to have left the subject, you are still going back to it.
I just needed to actually clarify, you get. So I think I would just wrap up and speak to like the practicality of these things. So to answer your question directly, tech has changed my life for the better. But I'm going to actually just lay a ground point. It was talking about code, about knowing like the nitty-gritty, staying. So most of the things that they've been talking about is staying power, doing the hard work. You're not trying to skim your way through. You are trying to actually do the actual work, to know that this is where you're going to. So it was talking about tech. I know that I wrote my first code as a person in 2010, and ever since then, at least there is no month or year that passes by that I have not written code. Do you remember? And now, when it comes to tech, I started...
You use Biro.
Anyway, when it comes to tech, my BSc was in computer science and technology. My MSc, computer science. Then I went further to specialize in bioinformatics. Then I started my PhD, and, I was doing core computer science. Then I saw how the ecosystem was changing. Then I went into specialization into artificial intelligence. Now, last year, December, ChatGPT came out. and disrupted the the whole technology space. I could have said, you know what, I'm just rounding up. Now, I changed my research focus to understand what are, the learning systems, the pre-trained systems that are actually, helping this thing work, helping this thing think. And my specialization right now is how to help enhance that kind of technology and also localize it. So let me give you a very simple example. If you have health issues now and you want to actually eat like Nigerian foods to manage your health issues, you only would go to a dietitian to help you. You can't go to ChatGPT to help you. But if you're abroad, ChatGPT can help you. Now, I know that for the last 10 months, I spent time localizing that data, training algorithm for that data so that you can go and ask questions, and whether you're managing diabetes, prediabetes, hypertension, PCOS, and all those kind of things, without paying about 60K, 70K to a dietitian, you can pay as little as 1.5, and you know what to eat and improve your conditions. Now, young people that we are, he said something, be hungry for success. Now, I was saying my poor story. The truth is, my BSc was in a private university. My MSc was in a private university, Covenant University. Then my BSc was Crawford University. My PhD is in a private university. So it's not like maybe I was poor or my parents are poor.
You can't be poor.
You understand me? But the point is, I know that I understood that the trajectory for where I had to go to or get to, I had to subject myself to some knowledge that I probably would not be able to learn, at that cadre where I was. And I have some people in this hall. For like about 2 years, I was literally sleeping in the office. My parents had about 5 houses around that place. You understand me? But the point is, I had to sleep in the office to understand, to learn, to understand what things. So I think my wrapping up is that for you to allow tech to change your life, first of all, you need to understand the picture of the life that you want it to change. Because a number of people don't even know what tech can do. They just hear tech is good, it can change your life. They don't even know what is that life. Do you get my point? So you see a lot of young people come into tech, earn their first salary, they want to get a car. They see people, they want to get, a number of things because they are coming into tech. So I think that picture of what tech is to you needs to actually change and let you know that it is hard work. He mentioned something, I was just laughing. I employ a number of tech people, and you see somebody come in and tell you, I have 4 years experience in this. And you give them 2 weeks to test. And you're like, people employ you. You understand me? Do you get my point? Now, most of the guys that are actually doing well are people that come in, are ready to learn, and they've spent 1 year writing code for real life situations, and they are adapting to those situations. So, what I'm just trying to portray or say is that you can't run away from the hard work. I know that I used to work with him, and 2 a.m.
You used to work with us in Pertinence.
Yes, okay. 2 a.m., he would message me, I will reply. 3 a.m., I will reply. 12 a.m., I will reply. 5, I will reply. 8 o'clock, I'm in the office. We'll leave here 8 p.m. I know one of them, they call me, when do you sleep? I said, my future is not like my present right now is not like what I'm looking for. I can't really sleep. I will sleep. There are times to sleep. You understand? It will come. But I can't. It's not possible because I want to buy something of 50K and I'm planning. That is not the future I want for myself. I don't want to be planning. And we're getting there. I remember very well, I was talking to my wife and we were just driving past. And she was like, I want us to branch the mall. We did not plan. We just entered. We didn't even think of, okay, what are we going to pick? We just picked, and I told her, I said, come, babe, these are reality. Things are changing. I remember when I got married, we planned every single couple. I can't forget how much he gave. The day he gave us money after we got married, we planned that money to delay. You can't borrow me.
I gave you money.
Yes, he did. Oh. You can't borrow 1,000. If you borrow 1,000 from me, I will remember.
Money back.
You understand me?
When I'm a big boy, you pay interest.
So what am I trying to say? Is that we can't run away as young people from the hard work. People will use you. It's part of the process. Like, agree and accept it. No, I don't want to be used. I can't be used.
Like we used the impertinence.
You see,
We used this guy. Especially me and Mr. Longe, we used you. Yeah. You know, I said something. I have a quote. Anywhere you see it, know it's my quote, so that you don't go out now and go and begin to quote it on social media and say it's your own. I said, if you are being used, it means you are useful. If you are not being used, it means you are useless. Nobody uses a useless person. So whenever you hear people say they are using me, it's because you are useful. If you are not useful, we will not use you. And if you want us to stop using you, become useless. Basically, that's what it is. Thank you very much. I like that. There are a lot of things here, and the time is fast spent. Dr. Gbenga, how has your industry evolved with technology? Can you say technology has made the industry better?
I mean, the human capital development space, we are struggling. We have people in Nigeria, we don't have talents, enough talents. We are not having a people talent, we're having a talent problem.
With all the training we have done in the area of tech, we are still...
There's still a wide gap.
Wow, that's an opportunity.
And when we talk Nigeria, let's leave Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and maybe Enugu and Aba. So go to Ibadan, go to Ekiti. Ekiti is better. Go to Nasarawa is even better if you look at the north. But if you take away these core areas that I mentioned, there's still a huge gap. And for once, I celebrate what the federal government is doing. We were talking about it earlier. The current Minister for Technology is doing a lot.
Because he's a young person like us.
And he's a practitioner. He's from, he's from the ecosystem. So what I want to say to everybody here is, if you're thinking Nigeria, Africa, and the world, Nigeria is the talent factory for Africa and the world. We adapt better and faster when we have opportunities to get on global platforms. It's not too late. All these things we're saying now, if this is completely new to you, you can turn your life around like this in 6 months, in 1 year. Parents, uncles, aunties that are here, please go back and encourage your words. The gap is still huge. And I know all of these things we're saying now, we're just talking tech and tech talents. If I'm talking technicians, if I'm looking at the development, your production companies, and I'm talking technicians, people who can work machines, it's the old TVET space is another
a high
monkey.
demand all over the world.
It's another monkey.
Canada
right?
now, they even pay you if you're a technician and you come into Canada and you're able to bring in your friends, they will pay you for that.
You know, and
as in that's
so
how bad it is.
The entire world. I mean, we're putting up a quote somewhere. We used to be a degree-driven, certificate-driven. HR folks didn't help. I own up. We didn't help. It was a simple sifting methodology. You don't come and tell me, employ me without, get the degree first. It shows discipline, it shows, and we did that for a period, right? But now it's skill-based. We are very skill-driven. Can you do this? This is a camera. Produce this. This is Excel. Forecast. Build this model. This is a phone. Do this. Because the world is that hungry for immediate solutions, quick results, and all of that. So the gap is there. The opportunities are there. And you need to even believe it before you can begin to see the opportunities that are there. Perhaps I can help. You are here, you are looking for any job that is even outside of tech, right? Get on alanandgrant.com/job openings, from van driver to sales rep to, working in a bank as a bank operations person. We have
Alan and Grant.
ALANDGRANT.com, then / okay, that's website. Just go to Instagram. I should repeat. So just go on Instagram now to make it faster. So if you go on Instagram, you can then see the website. Instagram is.
If you have the invite to this particular meeting, you see Alan and Grant there.
Yeah.
It's just there.
So go there. There are a number of job openings that we have, because for some of us, we even need to get a job, and from that salary, now start a portion of it to start doing technology trainings and all of that. But yes,
Thank you.
the industry is getting better. We are less and less concerned about your degrees. Yes, I'm saying it for some jobs, but for some other jobs, come into the office, show me you can do it. I can test you on the spot. You probably have a job the next day.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Gbenga Afolabi. So you have been, you start different things, run them, buy this one, buy that one. What are you working on now? And how can we benefit from what you're working on? What are you working on now? And I also want you to look at the movie industry. What ideas do you have for them? You know, looking at the fact that Prime is here, Netflix has been here, and some Nigerians are threatened. What do you think?
So I'll start from what am I thinking looking at 2024? Is I think every Nigerian business that is growing businesses, I mean, I'm not saying SMEs that is trying to solve your immediate needs, we should be thinking of exporting. So if there's something on our agenda from Q4, is the fact that we're lumping businesses together and saying what we can export. So today we're going to launch, we want to launch the mobile, we're launching an integrated e-commerce, agency banking, and a telco business together, which is going to be the House of Flex. So we're supposed to launch in November, we'll be launching February. It's called Flex Deals, Flex Mobile, and Flex Money. We want to move that into different African countries.
People say we should not spend, we should not show. It's Flex now.
Yeah, so that's the essence. It's because you know Nigerians like to show. They like to show. So we're going to be moving that as a bundle to unlock wealth in other African countries. And I think every growing business, including Pertinence Group, we need to be start asking ourselves, what are we doing in Liberia? What are we doing in Sierra Leone? What are we doing in Gambia? When you get to those places, they are not as difficult. We can come because they're being run by Indians and Lebanese and everything now. Especially the English speaking, first go there. I mean, Senegal sometime next week again, because these opportunities are opening. So that's what we're doing. Again, is to make sure you're hungry for success. I can't drive a private jet by just, and we have to, okay? Because we don't want to go to heaven to fly yet. We want to rehearse flying before we they take us. So we need to, again, we don't have to be
witches to fly.
Thank you. You need to make sure that we're so it's to have that hunger. That's one thing. Let's dive quickly into this. And I think as you see opportunities, I'll throw it into the tech space. It's still in my brain. I'm looking for the best set of people that can do this together. But cybersecurity is going to be, and we're also discussing that at the very high level. Again, am I on camera? Okay. So, I mean, at different levels, national, state, and all that, I mean, different groups where we're also talking about the vulnerability of the country, because we're forcing huge amount of people into the internet space, and yet we have zero infrastructure to protect. You know, the way Nigeria is, we know the plan. We only think we just go and play football and go and play it. So there are a lot of businesses open, their vulnerabilities, and cybersecurity is big conversation. If you want to learn anything today and you want to be sought for by presidents, go and learn cybersecurity. We're trying to put together a company like that. Because they are stealing identity. It's a global problem. They're stealing everything. And the next set of wars that will happen will be people shutting down trains, shutting down so many things, deep fakes. Because all of us, mini-grid powers will collapse. Uranium power plants will shut down. Because somebody is in Iran or Iraq or whatever and can hack the code and can shut down your power plant or can make your missile turn. So cybersecurity is the biggest concern globally. Why are we not doing it? And do you know that you need it from an SME? How many of you have seen them take your WhatsApp group or your website and say pay money, if not we'll take all your data? Even small, you know. So you're saying that even that all those small things happen at that level of an SME. They are stealing your Instagram account, they're stealing your Facebook account, am I right?
Yeah.
You've seen it before. It's all cybersecurity. So it's not only trains having accidents in Europe, it's that even you doing small something on your Instagram, somebody just go and steal your page. So that's big opportunity, and it's as massive as anything, bigger than all the fintechs and all the things. So that's one thing that we are thinking of going into. We're trying to dimension. We don't know how yet, but we're open to observing people that are thinking. My job is to think, and then we'll look for how we get there. Second thing you asked me about the film industry. There's, or rather, is it movie industry? or film?
Film industry.
Entertainment industry is driven by content. Content is king. Content is money. When I see people talk about all these things, they worry about infrastructure. It's like you put a train and there's no human being inside. Why do you think Canada is looking for us? God gave them land. They have money, no human being. If only our people understand that.
What was that?
What I said, Abi, it's true now. If only people understand that there's no entertainment without content, they will not be worried about Showmax. Today, Showmax, I have friends, I was in a very bright basket. They pay ahead for things they've not done in 2025. Yeah. In this new world where influencers have become celebrities, you should be worried about having content. They will come to your door. Don't be bothered yet about the platform because you don't have it yet. And it's difficult making money on those platforms. Rather, be interested in how we can create content and build content, because the world is chasing our content. I'll end up by saying, I'm doing a conference on creative economy. This is my second conference on it. Like there's been 12 conferences on creative economy. The creative economy, I mean, again, I work.
Yeah.
So I do those things for I write manifestos and all that, and so I can tell you some government's manifesto. For Lagos State, for example, we have something called the 21st century economy. It's under the team's agenda. I'm not a politician, please, and I don't have that kind of money. In teams, before somebody come and do that, team's agenda means that 21st century economy, and if you look at national, the blue economy, for example, is because that the new wealth is unseen wealth. It's creativity. That's why the Davidos and all the content guys, they are the wealthiest. That is where the real wealth will be. Media and creative economy. Media, all of them sits under that place. So if you ask me, what they should be worried about is what is the content. If you can create the content and meet strategies that can help you monetize your content, you had made. The people that own the platforms will chase you. Film house and all the rest, they are spending billions of naira looking for content. Who will go to cinema if there's no film? Content is king. They will Wakanda and all those things and Queen, all those things are taken from our African culture. The dances, the shows. If we can just be obsessed with creating content locally, there will be multi-billionaires in this place. We don't have enough of people creating content. There are new kind of content that can be created in different ways. And when I say content, it's not just jokes and shaking bomb on TikTok. That's not it. The verticals of the creative ecosystem is huge. A friend of mine, Mushokpa and Anaburo, has these wonderful restaurants in Abuja. Have you seen them before? Where, 3D animated cinemas and museums. Huge. So there are many verticals to the creative economy where film and entertainment sits, and you've not touched the money. Even when you look at developed worlds, huge money came out from the worlds of Hollywood and all that, Bollywood. So for me, I will end by saying, I think they've not even understood it yet. Come out of technology, web economy and digitized Lagos, and come and have experts talk. Kula Falayan is speaking, Kobams is speaking, a few people, Biasika is speaking. You need to come and understand how to dimension that whole creative economy and how you can have a piece. When we have our content we've created, we can get there.
If we I don't think we don't have it, so maybe if you can go online.
I can drop in there. And it's not about me really. My job is to bring people together, and you can learn from them. YouTube and all the rest are coming to do master classes because we know if we cannot create job in real way and everything, you can sit with your YouTube and whatever and make your millions and buy. I mean, see all the brain jot and all those children, Sabinus, blue shirt and do you know how much those guys coordinate now? How much? And government doesn't know how to tax them. Because you can't see their money. So my feedback is there's huge opportunity there. Fashion, for example, big money globally. If we're able to put that together. So I will end by saying, I think Nigerians always look for, again, the shortcuts. The industry is so wide. Look for what is exciting to you and get experts to help you monetize it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, put your hands together, celebrate all our panelists. This has been an awesome conversation. I wish we can have an extra 1 hour, 2 hours to talk even more, but unfortunately, our time is fast spent, and I know you didn't go and do your O1 but some of you are already calculating whether we can finish on time so that before they finish sharing the food, you can get to the event. Just talking about content, just to buttress on what you're saying. I have someone that I follow on several platforms, and this guy creates content, as in he's one of the master in content creation. His name is Haman. He's from, he stays in America, but he's from the Middle East, you know. And if you check some of his content, you have contents, most of his content are the views are in millions. This guy earns millions of dollars on YouTube alone every year, creating content. So one of the things I want every one of us to take out here is that whether you are in code tech, you are in no code tech, you are in the creative space, there are huge opportunities for every one of us. You can have great. I was talking to a friend who was building a YouTube channel, and he told me, he said, Wisdom, I'm not in a hurry. I have 10 years in my mind. He said, I'm not in a hurry. He said, my content may not even be good now. I don't care. My pursuit is 10 years. That in 10 years, this is where I said, even me, I wanted to go and start attending to my own YouTube channel too, because I should have like, you know, that 10 years is too long for me. I need to have like 2 years in mind. But what I'm saying in essence is, if you have the long-term perspective in mind, you will always outrun the people who have short-term mindset. To be sincere, when we started this company called Pertinence Group, we had long-term in our mind. We told ourselves in 10 years, this is build up, and it will surely get there. I wish we can talk even much more, but we don't have the time. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Benga Falabi, Benga, yeah, and all our creative people. You can come over. Please, let's take a picture. Yeah, the woman in the middle, beside me. Beside me, the convener. Yeah. Subu, you need to come like this so that I will be in the. I say, Subu, you come like this, come like that. Yeah. Yes, better. Right. But you need to smile. This is a world-class picture. All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So I think right about now, we're going to go into the award. That's the scholarship award. And after that, I'll come to say goodbye. Thank you. Yeah.
Please, can we appreciate our panelists one more time? All right, so that was quite the session. One thing I'll ensure to do is to speak with the team so that for everybody who registered for this event, you'll be getting links to how to connect with the speakers, what they do, and everything. And then some of the things they've shared as well, the events that VJ was talking about and everything. You get links on how to connect with all of those. So not to worry, I'm sure they would be able to package that for us. All right, so right about now, we would be going straight to the scholarships, and then after scholarships, we'll have vote of thanks, and then we're done. To moderate this session, please put your hands together as I invite Adekunle from the We Care Foundation team. Please put your hands together for Adekunle. You guys can do better. You can do better than that.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. If you have enjoyed your time so far in this conference, can you just jam your hands together for the We Cares Foundation team? I'm looking at faces. Please jam your hands together. It's been so very wonderful. So very quickly, we're going to be heading into the scholarship. I'm going to be starting with the media scholarship first. So entirely, this scholarship is worth 5 million naira. You know, we said up to 20 million naira scholarship, available. And the sponsor of this scholarship is Red Eye Studios. So don't worry, you jam your hands together for them. But let me just first call the shortlisted candidates for this scholarship. So once you hear your name, just rush down to the stage with me, and then we'll take the next thing
Number one is Achu Obi. Can you please jam your hands together for him? He's in the house. Achu Obi. The next person, Adebobola Adenle, if I'm correct. The third person, Ganil Yusuf. If you are in the house, just rush and join me on the stage. Number 4, Imo David. Imo David. Please jam your hands together for him as he comes forward. Number 5, Emmanuel Christian. Emmanuel Christian. Stephanie Nwagwe. Permit me for murdering the name. Please, if you are the person, just join me on stage. Mary Aido. Mary Aido. Shegun Jegede. Kakwe Kaptu Emmanuel. Are you in the house? All right. Okay, so whilst I'm calling the names, if you are also interested in the media scholarship, there is a paper that is being passed around. Just make sure you write your name and then submit to one of the ushers. So please, ushers, can you please help me go around? There is a there is a paper rather that is being, shared around. Just get one. Shegun Jegede, are you in the house? Shegun Jegede. Kakwe Kaptu Emmanuel. Daniel Agu. Daniel Agu, are you in the house? Samuel Tua. The next person, Samuel Tua. Oluwakemi Oladeji. Oluwakemi Oladeji. Samuel Namso. Samuel Namso. Peace Otubogun. Peace Otubogun. Thank God Ekata. Is Thank God in the house? Thank God Ekata. Achu Obi. Aliu Tosin. Udoye Pascal. Chinedu Eke. And Andrew Nanakeme. All right, so we only have 2 participants amongst the 10, so I'm very sure the remaining 8 persons already forfeited their scholarships. So for those that are currently in the house and maybe were not shortlisted for the scholarship, because it was basically for those who attend the event. So even if you were shortlisted and you didn't attend the event, unfortunately, you will not be able to get the scholarship. So let me have you on stage. Is my checkboard ready? I think some persons are raising their hand. Blessing. Some persons are raising their hands. If there are more than 8, then I will have to do a raffle to make it fast. Are we good? Somebody's raising hand here. Somebody's raising hand here. Somebody's also raising hand here. So let's make it snappy. Just write your name and return back to the ushers. Then they all bring. Just put it in a basket for me very quickly so that we can get done and go into tech. For the tech scholarship, we have 20 participants and it's worth 10 million naira altogether. Our sponsor is Quanta Innovations. Quanta Innovations. But let's be done with the media scholarships. Are we ready? Somebody is still raising a hand here. Please, I need more hands. I need more hands. I need more hands. Chisom, could you please help me join them so that we can, let me get papers to a couple of persons and then we can have them fast. Just write your name, just your name, don't worry, and then return back. Just your name and return back. So you can help me start collating. If you have written your name, can you just raise your hand? If you have written your name, you've written your name, Abi. So just stretch the paper and let me collect the paper so that we don't get to waste time. Thank you. You can give the lady on white. Yeah. So collate the papers and then we move. Okay. So do we have all the papers together? I'm sure we have more than 8 people, right? Okay, so let's make that snappy. The founder of the foundation is here, so he will be the one to do the presentation of the check to the participants. So because of time, we're going to, do it together. All media scholarships are going to be presented at once. Do we have the papers already? Okay, please let's just submit. You have not gotten the paper. Have you gotten? Please help me give him a paper and then return. How many? Okay, so just put it in a basket. So are we ready? So just get me a basket and let's just do that very fast. No, you don't have to fold it, don't worry. Let's just put it in a basket, then I'll call somebody to help us select the 8 persons and we're good. All right, so the 2 scholarship, okay, please, okay, 2 of you, all right. So these are the original winners. We are looking for more people on the supplementary list to join you on the stage. Sorry? You heard your name. Who went to call him? Eh? What's your name? Pascal. Okay. So if you have anybody who you think might have been, shortlisted for the scholarship, please call them now. This is the last person we are going to be accepting to come and join them. It's because they're actually delaying. So we're picking 7 persons. 7 persons. Are we ready? Okay. Do we have, are we ready? Do we have a representative from Red Eye Studios? I'm sure I can't see their managing director in the hall. Or, okay, ladies and gentlemen, can you please jam your hands together as I welcome Osubu on stage. Osubu, is going to be helping us with the supplementary list for the scholarship for media. So you're picking 7 at a go, right? 7 at a go. And we called your name. Yes, so we're doing supplementary from the audience. So why not just call them as the first person, Ifeanyi Wisdom Uzoma. Can we please jam our hands together as we welcome him? Ifeanyi Wisdom Uzoma. Yes, definitely, the person will be here. Ifeanyi. Okay, the next person, Age Miriam. Age Miriam. Okay, can we please jam your hands together for her? Toba Dosumo.